Hello kids. Today I am going to explain you chapter number 18, No Place for Us. Aims and Objectives. To know about Jatriya Bhai, Khedi village, Sinduri and Mumbai city, to know the effects of migration, to understand the concept of family and its importance. Jatriya Bhai was sitting at the door with his daughter Jhimli. He was waiting for his son Sidhya. It was almost night, but Sidhya had not come home. Sidhya used to work in nearby fish factory to earn some money. Jatriya Bhai's family come to Mumbai from Sinduri village 2 years back. Here, they only knew the family of a distant relative. With their help, Jatriya Bhai began to repair torn fishing nets. But the money he got was not enough. They had to pay for the medicines, food, school fees, and rent for the house. Here, they even had to buy water. Young Sidhya also had to work in the nearby fish factory to earn some money. From 4 o'clock till 7 o'clock in the morning, he cleaned and sorted the big and small fish. Then he would come home, take a nap, and go to school in the afternoon. In the evening, he would wander around the vegetable market. He would help some Mem Sahib to carry her bags or to go to the railway station to pick up empty bottles and newspapers to sell to the kabadiwala. Somehow, they were managing their life in the city. While sitting at the door and waiting for his son Sidhya, Jaitra Bhai is remembering his old days. Jaitra Bhai was born in Khedi village. Khedi village was in the middle of thick jungles. People had been living here for so many years, even before his grandfather was born. There was a peace in Jaitra's village, but not silence. There were so many soothing sounds, the gurgle of flowing river, the murmur of trees and the chirping of birds. People did farming. They would go to the nearby forest, chatting and singing together to collect wild fruits, roots and dried wood. While working with elders, children also learned many things like to dance together, to play flute and dhol, to make pots of clay and bamboo, to recognize birds and imitate their sounds, etc. People used to collect things from forest for their use. Some of those things they would sell in the town across the river. With that money, they would buy salt, oil, rice, and some clothes. It was a village, but people here lived together like a big family. Jaitra's sister was married in the same village. People helped each other in good and bad times. The elders would arrange weddings and settle quarrels. Jaitra was a strong young man. He worked hard in the fields and caught fish from the big river. He and his friends would go to the forest to collect fruits and roots, plants for medicines, and fish from the river to sell these in the town. During festival time, Jaitra would dance and play the drum with boys and girls of his age. One day, people of Khedi heard that a big dam was to be built on the river. Children, do you know the meaning of dam? Yes, a wall built across a river to hold back the water and form a lake behind it, as you can see in the picture. For this, a big wall would be built to stop the flow of the river. Khedi and many nearby villages in that area would be drowned underwater. The people would have to leave their villages and their lands, on which their forefathers had lived for centuries. After a few days, government officials, along with the police, started visiting these villages. Small children of the village saw the police for the first time. Some children would run after them, and some would get scared and start crying. The officials measured the width and length of the river, the fields, forest, and houses. They called meetings with the elders of the villages. They said villages on the bank of the river would have to be removed. People having land at Khedi will be given land far away, on the other side of the river. They will have everything there: a school, electricity, hospitals, buses, trains, etc. They will have all that they could not even dream of here in Khedi. Jatra's parents and most elders were not happy about leaving their village. Listening to all this, Jaitra would get a little scared, but also feel excited. He would think that after getting married, he would take his bride to the new house in the new village. A house where he could just press a button for the light and turn on the tap for water. He could go by bus to see the city. When he would have children, he could send them to school. They will not be like him, who had never been to school. Now, Jaitra and some families were shifted in Sinduri village, as in Khedi village a dam is going to be built. In this new Sinduri village, they had to pay money for everything. He got house with one room. The roof of the house was made up of tin sheet which made house hot like an oven. He used to light stove with pieces of rubber tire because he could not afford kerosene. In Sinduri, there were only 8-10 families he could call his own, those from his old village. The whole village had got scattered and people had gone wherever they had been given land. This was not like the new village Jaitra had dreamt about. There was electricity, but only for some times in a day. And then the electricity bill had also to be paid. There were taps, but no water. In this village, Jaitra got just one room in a tin shed. It had no place to keep the animals. He also got a small piece of land, but that was not good for farming. It was full of rocks and stones. Still, Jatria and his family worked very hard, but they could not grow much on the field and could not make enough money even to buy seeds and fertilizers. In Khedi, people did not fall sick often. If someone fell ill, there were many people who knew how to treat them with medicines from the plants. People felt better after taking those medicines. Here in Sinduri, there was a hospital, but it was difficult to find doctors and there were no medicines. There was a school here, but the teacher did not care much about the children from Khedi village. These children found it difficult to study in a new language. The people of Sinduri did not welcome the newcomers from Khedi. They found their language and way of living strange. They made fun of Khedi people by calling them unwanted guests. Not much of what Jaitra had dreamt had come true. Jatria stayed for few years in Sinduri. His children were turning old. Things were not easy, but he hoped things would get better. But Jatriya's heart was not here in Sinduri. He still missed his old khedi. But there was no khedi now. There was a big dam and a big lake of collected water in and around Khedi. Jaitra thought, if we are to be called unwanted guests, then at least let us go to some place where our dreams can come true. Jatriya sold his land and his animals and came to Mumbai. Here he started a new life with his family. His only dream was to send his children to school, to give them a better future, a better life. Here too things were not easy, but he hoped that things would get better. Jatriya started saving money to repair his one room shack. His relatives would tell him, don't waste money on this. Who knows? We may have to move from here too. In Mumbai, there is no place to stay for outsiders like us. Jaitra was scared and worried. He thought, we left Khedi for Sinduri. We then left Sinduri for Mumbai. If we have to move from here too, then where can we go? In this big city, is there not even a small place for my family to stay? So, children, in this chapter, you come to know about Jatra Bhai and problems faced by him during his life. I hope the chapter is clear to you. Thank you.